heating up. This afternoon from Minneapolis, it's an important conference matchup for the Minnesota Golden Gophers and the Michigan State Spartans.
We have reached the halfway point in the conference season. Today it's Michigan State visiting the University of Minnesota. It's the start of a fantastic day of women's basketball on Big Ten Network. Minnesota is one of 5 teams tied at 5-3 in the conference behind Ohio State. Michigan State comes into today's game at 4-5 in conference play. Good afternoon and welcome inside Williams Arena. I'm Marty Gellner along with Stephanie White. These two teams met up a month ago at the Breslin Center, and that was a game Minnesota won by 11 points. But the Spartans have made some improvements, and they got a key player healthy in Minneapolis native Maya Johnson.
Maya Johnson coming back from ACL injury during summer workouts, inserted into the starting lineup against Illinois. Season high 20 points. She's stronger and she's more mobile than she's been all season. She's a returning guard scorer from last season. She brings confidence, experience, and most importantly, she brings leadership and toughness to a young Spartan team.
Another key component of this Michigan State team is Lauren H., who will make her 4th start of the season.
Lauren H. allows Michigan State to bring a bigger lineup on the floor, more offensive firepower as she's the 3rd leading scorer. She can help on the boards on both ends of the floor, and tonight she'll bring the strength down low and the ability to play physical and match the physical toughness of this Minnesota Gopher team.
Minnesota is coming off a huge upset win on Thursday over number 15 Ohio State and got a career effort out of Leslie Knight and got a typical all-around solid effort from Emily Fox.
Emily Fox, really the true leader of this Minnesota team, not only statistically in points, assists, and steals. She's so hard to guard because she can hurt you in so many ways. She can hit the 3, she can take it off the bounce, she's able to find the open player, but most importantly, she leads by example with her work ethic. When your best players are your hardest workers, that breeds success. And speaking of hardest workers, Leslie Knight, a career high 33 in a much-needed win over Ohio State. She's a consistent force on both ends of the floor. She can take the jump shot, she can take you off the dribble. She's really stepped up her play in conference season, and one of the reasons Minnesota's right in the hunt for the Big Ten title.
Michigan State also had a big win on Thursday on the road at Illinois. Allyssa DeHaan made the game-winning shot in that game. Tall task for Leslie Knight and the Gophers today to defend the paint this afternoon, and we'll have the rematch from Williams Arena next.
Halfway into the Big Ten season, the conference is packed tight. Minnesota and Michigan State are both in the mix, and they meet up for the 2nd time this season in Minneapolis. Here's a look at your starters for this afternoon game. First for the visiting Spartans, the player to keep an eye on is in the middle, 6'9" Allyssa DeHaan, who averages 8 rebounds per game. Not to mention a nice point and block total as well. And for Minnesota, the starting 5 changed on Thursday. Katie Ohm made her first start of the season. She's back in there today. And I wouldn't imagine you'd change too much after you just beat Ohio State in an upset win on Thursday. Leslie Knight and Emily Fox are the other keys there for Minnesota.
Certainly not. Katie Ohm brings another dimension to this Minnesota team, really spreading the defense, pulling them out. She's got the ability to knock down that 3, and she makes Minnesota even tougher. The strength of this Minnesota team is their balance, and when you have players that can shoot it on the outside, players that can score it on the inside, it makes you awfully tough to guard.
Pam Borton led the Gophers to that upset win 3 days ago over Ohio State. She's hoping that she's got this team into Big Ten contention mold today, or mode, I should say. The opening tip, Ashley Ellis-Milan knocks it into Leslie Knight's hands after she chases it down. And Emily Fox, who is the leader for Minnesota, vocally, a lot of times physically and numbers-wise as well. She got things started at the point. Here's Knight, who had that career-high 33-point game. Fox will take the first shot and hit it. It's a 3-pointer from the corner. Emmy Fox.
Michigan State coming out in that 2-3 zone. You can see Emily Fox really starts the offense, but she comes around off of that double screen on the backside, nails the 3.
DeHaan will take a shot from the outside in her first look. Brittany McCoy will come the other way. Minnesota did a great job defending Allyssa DeHaan in the first matchup a month ago. We'll talk a little bit more about those strategies as the game wears on. But that will be a key throughout this game. Any game Michigan State plays, the key has got to be how does the other team handle DeHaan.
It really is, and I think that when you're talking about, Allyssa DeHaan, you can see right here the double screen on the backside. Emily Fox wide open for that three-point shot. Hey, what kind of confidence builder is that to be able to step out, knock down a three to start the game? But Allyssa DeHaan, I think when you talk about playing against her, Minnesota did a great job last time, really pushing her out of the lane, making her play off the block. And when you can make her play off the block and hit tough shots, she's really somebody that's hard to handle down low.
Speaking of hard to handle, Maya Johnson got 2 shots there, and so did Lauren H. She got an offensive rebound. Here's Fox, though. She's got McCoy on the wing, and before the shot went up, there's a foul. That is on Emmy Fox. A little too aggressive heading down the court there. Pam Borton is in her 6th season. She's won 126 games with Minnesota. She also has a Final Four appearance in 2004, back when Lindsay Whalen was a senior. Brittany Thomas has the ball. She'll run things most of this game for the Spartans. Now DeHaan, guarded closely by Ellis Milan. Drive baseline and the dish to H, and Lauren H walked. So far Minnesota's come out nice defensively.
They really have. Minnesota does such a great job of pressuring the ball on the perimeter.
Susie Merchant is in her 1st season with Michigan State. She called this her dream job. She's got a very young team to work with, but they have molded pretty impressively. They're improving throughout the season. Sometimes they make improvements within a game itself.
They really do, and anytime you have a young, experienced team, it makes it tough because they're so inconsistent. Kind of like the Minnesota team of last year. You learn by being thrown into the fire, learn by every single day being out on the floor, and this team changes on a daily basis, and we're going to continue to see them grow. 9 players are either freshmen or sophomores on this team. So Michigan State will probably be a team to contend with here in the next couple of years in the Big Ten. They most certainly will. You see a lot of talent, a lot of athleticism on the floor. They just lack that experience, which is why Maya Johnson is in the lineup to try to give them that edge, to try to build that toughness and help these young players learn that you've got to be consistent, you've got to bring it every day.
Johnson is one of the rare upperclassmen at a junior. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Knight has it in the corner, gives it to Ohm, top of the key. Katie Ohm misses the 3. The rebound goes to Michigan State, and the outlet is up ahead to Johnson. Ohm does a nice job getting back on defense. And DeHaan is there for the offensive rebound and the putback. And Allyssa DeHaan has her 1st basket of the game. It's the Spartans' 1st. And at the other end, Fox answers very quickly.
Controlling the tempo. Minnesota does a great job of pushing the ball on the offensive end, off of makes, off of misses. And when this is a fast-paced tempo, that's definitely to Minnesota's advantage.
Michigan State had started off 0 for 5 and is now 1 for 6. Just that one make by Allyssa DeHaan so far. 1 for 7, excuse me. From the other baseline, Fox tries it, misses, gets her own board. A nice follow-up for Emmy Fox. She has back-to-back baskets.
Again, Minnesota pushing the ball in transition. She gets an open look at the 3 and pursuit of the ball. You see 4 Minnesota players in the lane trying to get that offensive rebound. Emily Fox comes up with it. Great soft touch over Allyssa DeHaan.
Emmy Fox has all 7 of Minnesota's points.
We talked about all the different ways that she can hurt you. She starts off the game by hitting a 3. She pushes tempo, gets a nice little mid-range jumper in transition, and right there, crashing the offensive board. Toughness and work ethic, and she does it every single day.
Michigan State makes a sub, so Tara Washington goes to the bench. Mandy Pajowski, number 2, checks in. Thomas goes off the screen, and she'll give it right to Pajowski, who doesn't waste any time and hits a 3-pointer from the baseline. Mandy Pajowski, the sophomore from Shelby Township, Michigan, has 3 points and is already 1 above her average.
And really trying to stretch that Minnesota defense. She's taken only 3-point shots in conference season, so we've got to make sure you get out and guard that perimeter when Pajowski's in the game.
Nice move underneath by Leslie Knight. She couldn't get the basket, but she does draw the foul.
Yeah, Leslie Knight does a great job of getting position low. Nice little spin moves, uses her quickness, her low center of gravity, really gets around DeHaan. That's a tough little reverse layup, draws the foul.
Knight had 33 points on Thursday against Ohio State. That was a career high. Her previous previous career high was 20. She is easily Minnesota's most improved player.
Oh, most definitely. And when I was speaking this morning with Coach Borton, she talked about Leslie Knight really biding her time, got limited minutes her freshman and sophomore year, really consistent and constant improvement, and now has really turned into one of the focal points of this Minnesota offense, patience and work ethic.
Thomas is guarded closely by McCoy. You'll see some pretty sticky defense from Minnesota throughout this game. Pam Borton likes to change it up as well from possession to possession. Kalisha Keene was blocked. And let's look at Leslie Knight and what she has done and the improvements she has made.
She really has. Again, you know, Coach Borton talked about her freshman year, her sophomore year, didn't get a lot of minutes, didn't get in a lot of games, but just was a tireless worker in the gym every single day, in the weight room, getting stronger, you know, working on her footwork. One of the most improved areas in her game is her footwork, and now she's turned into a great player for Minnesota.
Thomas had to force a shot as the shot clock was expiring, and they'll call that foul on Emily Fox.
It's 2 on Emily Fox, both charges looking to push the ball right there. That's a tough call and a tough position right now for Minnesota.
That is a tough one, because if you have the basketball and you're headed the other way, you're allowed to take some of your momentum. A lot of times, is that just an official's opinion on which way that foul is going to go?
I think it is. It's really a call that's kind of tough. You're supposed to allow them, you know, one step to be able to get the ball, but you can see she took one dribble with that right hand, tried to go behind the back. Brittany Thomas in a good position, but it's really one of those tough calls for those officials.
Another three-pointer on the way. The other side, it's missed. DeHaan has the offensive rebound, then taps it loose. Hayowski tries to run it down, and it'll go out of bounds. And we have our first timeout of the afternoon. It's an up-tempo early afternoon game in Minneapolis. To 5 Minnesota, and we are off and running early this afternoon already, Stephanie.
We really are. Transition offense for Minnesota, really controlling the tempo. You can see right here, Allyssa DeHaan, nice little offensive rebound put back, but off of the made. Minnesota pushing tempo. Brittany McCoy pushing it out. Emily Fox running the lane. Nice little pull-up jumper. Michigan State has to be able to get back in transition offense, and if Minnesota can control the tempo, it could be a long night for the Spartans.
Michigan State is doing a great job on the offensive glass as well. With 5 offensive rebounds, Minnesota has just 1. But Emily Fox has 2 fouls. That could be a major storyline here. Brittany McCoy misses. Knight cleans it up. Leslie Knight underneath the basket has her first field goal. Add that to a free throw, and she's got 3.
Great job, Leslie Knight, getting position on the low block, able to come up with that offensive rebound and put it back strong. But Emily Fox, you know, she's such a presence on the floor for this Minnesota team. If she's going to be on the bench with 2 fouls, you're going to have to see other players stepping it up.
Keene missed for Michigan State. McCoy brings it up quickly. Ellis Milan has it. Corinne Campbell, who had been a starter for Minnesota except the last 2 games, there's knocked away. It's a steal by Thomas, and Brittany misses the shot at the other end. There's a loose ball, and Michigan State has it. Turnover, Minnesota. We'll see if the Spartans can convert. DeHaan turns around, rims out. Katie Owen grabs the board.
Another offensive rebound for Michigan State, allowing another opportunity to shot. They got to be able to knock those down.
A great pass from Brittany McCoy to Ashley Ellis Milan, and Milan got hammered, but she still found a way to make that basket.
It's a great finish, and you can just see great push and transition by Brittany McCoy. Strength of Ashley Ellis Milan to be able to finish that, get plus the foul right here.
Look at the pass, the vision from Brittany McCoy, who doesn't do a lot of scoring, but especially with Emily Fox on the bench, she'll be asked to do a little bit more leading here on the court, more passing, tempo, things like that.
She really will. And, you know, the thing about Brittany McCoy is, you know, offensively, she might not bring a lot of firepower, but you have 4 players on the floor who do, but she does all the intangibles. She's pushing the ball. She's finding the open player. Defensively, she's going to guard the point guard, pressure the point guard all day long, but she's a kid who does all the little things that never show up in the stat sheets.
Ashley Ellis Milan, her defense will be very important on Allyssa DeHaan, who's temporarily checked out of the game. And there's a tough pass from Michigan State. The Spartans throw it out of bounds. So that's a turnover for Michigan State, number 2 for the Spartans this afternoon. And how impressive is this, Stephanie? Right now, Minnesota's on a 5-0 run with Emmy Fox on the bench.
That's huge. Whenever you can get other players on the team that are going to step up. But that's the thing that makes this Minnesota team so special. They're very balanced. You get one player that goes down or one player that goes out, everyone else steps up because they're the epitome of a true team.
And we'll see if the Gophers go inside a little more with DeHaan on the bench.
See Michigan State staying in that 2-3 zone.
scramble for it. 4 on the shot clock. The Gophers have to get a shot off. It'll be Ohm. And that'll be a violation.
Good defense that time by Michigan State. Really went to that 2-3 zone, but did a great job of covering the perimeter. They went small, a little bit small on the perimeter and in the post. You can see with Kalisha Keene playing the floor, Lauren H playing the 5. But to be able to pressure the perimeter in that zone, not allow any open looks, that's great defense by Michigan State.
How about Minnesota's defense as well? Michigan State's shooting 2 of 15. That's 13%.
Yeah, Minnesota does a great job of guarding the perimeter. They do a great job of getting in the passing lane. You can see right there the rotation. You get a foul there. Brittany McCoy just a little bit late in that rotation, but help defense, team defense.
Keene drove the lane and dished it to Lauren H, who drew the foul.
You can see right here, Keene beats Knight off the dribble. Great help by Ashley Ellis-Milan. Brittany McCoy just a tad late on that drop in that rotation, but that's good team defense, good rotation, and that's what Minnesota does.
H is making her 4th start of the season. She missed the entire season last year with a knee injury. You can see the brace on her right knee there. She hits the second. And it's now 12-6. So Michigan State, as much as it has been running up and down, we see Emily Fox checking back in. She'll be playing with 2 fouls for Minnesota. They both came offensively. She's gonna have to take a little bit off and maybe play some smart basketball here.
Yeah, she really is. You know, that's a hard thing for a player like Emily Fox, who is so used to going all out all the time, but she's got to be very careful here because she needs to be on the basketball court. And if she picks up that 3rd foul, it's going to be tough for Minnesota to handle.
That pass was knocked out of bounds by Michigan State. Katie Ohm will inbound. She goes to Fox, who draws the double team around the screen.
Minnesota so hard to guard. They're constantly moving, constantly setting screens for each other. That makes it really tough when you're a Spartan team that's chasing them around and creates opportunities off of the offensive rebound.
I don't even know if Ashley Ellis-Milan was sure how that ball ended up in her hands. Essentially, she grabbed her own rebound and made the putback.
That's what happens when there's constant movement on the offensive end. Not one player on this Minnesota team takes a play off.
A steal by Minnesota. Fox pushes it ahead, but she doesn't have numbers, so she'll wisely set things up. Knight has it from the top of the key. That shot is short. Ellis-Milan, another offensive board.
Another offensive rebound.
They'll go right back to her. That's a tough pass, though. Fox tried to dump it in between 2 defenders.
Yeah, that was a tough pass and a tough angle. Might have been a little bit easier to pass that ball to the high post and get the high-low from the high post because of the way that Ashley Ellis-Milan had the seal. Not really sure where that offensive foul was, though. It's Tara Washington doing a good job of really fronting the post, but
I think they might have thought maybe a little push in the back. It's hard to see from a lot of those angles, but this crowd certainly didn't agree with the call. But there it's quickly made up because Minnesota will have the ball, and Allyssa DeHaan checks back in. She is the tallest player in Michigan State history at 6'9". I'm just amazed at the statistic every time I look at it. She has 91 blocks this season. Second on the team for Michigan State, has 6.
It's amazing, not only the amount of blocks she has, but she alters so many shots in the defensive end.
She didn't alter that one. Katie Ohm has a 3 from the wing, and that is her specialty. It's the first basket Ohm has made this afternoon. And this barn is fired up. Minnesota has a huge crowd here this afternoon. It's Alumni weekend in Minneapolis, and these Gophers are treating the fans to a show this afternoon. Let's look at this 3-pointer from Katie Ohm, who is making her 2nd start of the season and really is picking her shots, but picking them wisely.
She is, and you know, that was really set up by penetration and kicking. Even though Michigan State's in the zone, you still have to attack the zone. Leslie Knight does a great job of attacking off the dribble, kicking it out to Ohm for the 3. That's what she does. She extends the defense.
It is the show for all Big Ten fans, featuring highlights, analysis, interviews, and much more. The Big Ten Tonight. Later tonight on the Big Ten Network. So Katie Ohm now has 3 points. She is the highest scorer in Minnesota high school basketball history. Boys or girls, over 3,600 points. She played at Elgin Millville down near Rochester, Minnesota.
That's amazing. Talk about putting the ball in the basket. 3,600 points.
Something you know a little bit about. If you're impressed by a scorer, I'm impressed. Thomas is tied up by Fox. That is an aggressive move for someone who has 2 fouls.
It really is. And again, Emily Fox only knows how to play one way.
You were cringing when she reached in for that ball. Minnesota's built an 11-point lead at the barn. Michigan State is stuck on 6. The Spartans haven't made a field goal in 5 minutes of play, and it is a 10-1 run right now for Minnesota.
10-1 run. Knight and Ellis Mylan tied for 7 of those 10 points. And we saw a lot of that run when Emily Fox was on the bench with foul trouble.
Emmy Fox is back in playing with 2 fouls. And really hasn't toned down the aggressiveness. It's a tough little balance to find. There you see the drought. 5 minutes of scoreless basketball. DeHaan threw it away, pressured by the Minnesota defense. Shot clock expired. Do you see a flustered Michigan State team right now?
Absolutely. Minnesota does such a good job of pressuring the ball on the perimeter and really getting out in the passing lanes. And anytime you're trying to handle the ball with somebody in your face like that all the time, it gets a little frustrating. You know, Michigan State getting opportunities for offensive rebounds and not converting.
Fox finds a clearing and quickly comes up with 2 more points. She scored Minnesota's first 7 of the game. Now she's up to 9.
And her mid-range game is so good. You see a lot of players who can shoot the 3 and who can get all the way to the rim but don't have the mid-range game. She's got the full package to be able to stop and pop just like that. Makes her very dangerous.
Taja Wilson throws up a shot. Kay Silva has the rebound. She's in for the first time. Both those players are this afternoon. And we're seeing Susie Merchant use a lot of subs that she usually doesn't use in a game. Same spot, same shot, same result for Emmy Fox.
Well, she's got to find somebody to stop Emily Fox because she's getting this team going and really, again, off the dribble. When you're playing the pick and roll offense like Minnesota's playing right now, you've either got to come off of there, trap her, do something to keep her off balance.
Maya Johnson gives it up to DeHaan. She takes 1 dribble. It looks like Allyssa DeHaan is playing a little bit farther out from the basket than she would like. Credit Minnesota's defense. That one rolls around and rolls in. Courtney Davidson scores. She is a senior, a rare senior on this team from Youngstown, Ohio.
Yeah, one of the concerns for Coach Merchant was the physical nature of this Minnesota team and her plays being able to respond, specifically Allyssa DeHaan. Not only does it push her up the lane, but it wears her down. It's physically exhausting when you're getting banged all day long down on the low block like Allyssa DeHaan will.
And like Leslie Knight is right now, double team, she loses the dribble, 4 on the shot clock. Fox is gonna have to find some room, but she didn't do it in time. Couldn't get the shot off. And Michigan State has an impressive defensive possession.
Right here you can see, again, off of the pick and roll, they're trying to jam and go over the top of that. When you jam and go over on a player like Emily Fox, she gets the same look, mid-range game, being able to come off of that pick and roll. Minnesota, great job of utilizing the pick and roll, and you see them go through that in practice. You see them go through that and shoot around, and they execute it to perfection.
DeHaan, guarded by Ellis Mylan, gets a little room to work with, but misses again. And there's Silva. She gets it to Fox. Ahead to Ellis Mylan, all alone. Ashley Ellis Mylan converts on a perfect pass, a perfect find from Emmy Fox.
Again, tempo, pushing the ball. You can see 3 Minnesota white jerseys in the half court, only 2 Michigan State green jerseys. Minnesota, a great job of controlling tempo. Michigan State transition defense is going to be key.
Johnson drives baseline. Spartans get off the 3-pointer, but it's well short from Keene. Offensive rebound. And there's a foul called on Minnesota. Lauren H. will head to the line again.
Right here, we're going to see transition again. Emily Fox dribbling with her head up. A great job of waiting until Ashley Ellis Mylan is in a position to catch and shoot. It's really tough sometimes when you're a guard. You want to give that post player the ball when they're running, but does a great job of being patient, letting her get to the spot, giving her the ball. 2 points.
Spartans should be pretty happy to get to the free throw line because from the field, Michigan State is 3 for 20. And Minnesota 10 for 16.
They're getting great looks, and they're getting offensive rebounds and more great looks. You know, a team like Minnesota, though, when you're so physical and you're so tough defensively, it gets in your head. It makes you think about every shot that you take, and that's where Michigan State is right now.
It's a 13-point Minnesota lead, but if you're Michigan State, you're on the road. This is a great crowd here this afternoon. You don't have a lot of time to let this game get away from you. You need to close that gap pretty soon.
You really do. It's a time right now, specifically before going into the break, that you have to be able to make a run. You've got to be able to get defensive stops, just like that one, and make a run on the offensive end, because once you allow this crowd to get into it and the momentum to continue to go the Gophers' way, they're going to be tough to stop.
So Michigan State gets to the free throw line and then forces a turnover on Minnesota, and we'll see if now the Spartans can capitalize and close this gap just a little bit.
You can see offensively right there, Allyssa DeHaan trying to come off the screen. And you can see Zoe Harper doing a great job of bodying her, though. Michigan State able to go to somebody else. Lauren H. More balance, getting the ball in other people's hands.
H gets the basket for Michigan State, excuse me. And now it's a 9-point game, and there's another turnover stolen away by Mandy Pajowski. The Spartans have not found any kind of rhythm this afternoon, but they're close. And just as soon as I say that, they throw it away.
Again, you make a little bit of a run and you get a good defensive stop. You want to be able to continue to build on that. We can see right here on the half court, the ball reversal, nice little cut right there by Lauren H. And I think that Allyssa DeHaan opens that gap up right there. You can see body, Allyssa DeHaan on the weak side of the floor. On-ball screen, Pajowski coming off, great screen and roll and rotation for Michigan State.
Emmy Fox tried to go 3 for 3 from that spot. Hit a couple of rims and went out of bounds, and Michigan State will have it and has closed temporarily within 9. Now it's back to 11. And Minnesota is holding on 23-12, still early in the first half at Williams Arena. 3 great looks at the top of the key.
She really has. Emily Fox is doing a great job of using the screen and roll. You can see her bringing it down the right side of the floor. Ashley Ellis-Milan coming out to set the on-ball screen. But right here defensively, Michigan State really jamming and not getting underneath or over the top of the screen. No help defense. Emily Fox is able to come off of that on-ball screen and get jumper after jumper after jumper. We saw it 3 times in a row.
She made 2 of them. The third one rimmed out. Michigan State right now is on a 6-2 run. And we'll see what kind of adjustments are made after the timeout. Leslie Knight has the defensive rebound. The Gophers push it ahead. Corinne Campbell, and back out to McCoy to set up. Minnesota made 3 straight turnovers and has 9 turnovers overall. Trying to take care of the ball on this possession. It was knocked out of bounds from Knight, or on Knight, against Knight, I should say. 9 turnovers for Minnesota, yet Michigan State only has 3 points off of those 9 turnovers.
Well, Minnesota's turning the ball over, but they're getting back defensively, and they're making everything difficult for Michigan State. Cutting to the basket, taking it off the dribble, taking a jump shot, offensive rebound. Everything is tough for the Michigan State Spartans right now because of the great defensive intensity by Minnesota.
Thomas brings it up against McCoy. And down low inside, kick back out for Michigan State. The shot from the wing from Keene. And now Minnesota has numbers. McCoy goes up against Pajowski, and Pajowski will pick up the foul.
Great push in transition. Again, offensively, Michigan State, they get the ball inside, get the ball outside, not able to knock down the shot. When you get that rebound, if you're Minnesota, you get the rebound and push out in transition right there. Zoe Harper, great hustle, get into your point guard. Brittany McCoy, good decision taking it to the basket. 2 shots right here with the foul. Again, tempo, tempo, tempo.
Over the last 3 games, Brittany McCoy is averaging 10 points per game, 6 assists, and just under 3 steals. She's kind of been an X factor because she's not a really big part of everything Minnesota does, yet she's important in so many smaller parts.
She is important in so many ways. She's one of those glue kids. She does all the intangibles. She will guard the best offensive player from a guard on the other end of the floor. She will be able to take the ball in transition, find the open player.
Ellis-Milan had a shot at it, but not a very good one. Michigan State will head the other way, having made just 4 field goals. There's another foul on Minnesota, but Michigan State is 4 of 23 from the floor. Emily Fox has 5 field goals of her own. She has more than Michigan State has as a team.
Again, nothing coming easy. Minnesota's doing a great job pressuring the ball, a great job pressuring them when they get the ball on the block, and also not allowing them to go where they want to go. If Michigan State tries to make a cut on offense, Minnesota has its player right there, jamming them on the defensive end. Everything is difficult. Everything is hard for Michigan State on the offensive end.
Kalisha Keene is at the free throw line again. She averages 13 points and had a career high last Thursday against Northwestern, 23 points.
Kalisha Keene is a player from Michigan State who's very versatile. She can be strong on the block. She can shoot the 3. She can take you off a dribble. She's got a great future for the Michigan State Spartans.
And she's brought the team back within 10 points, which actually seems quite manageable because early on it looked like this could be a blowout in the first half. So Michigan State has managed to kind of ease things off and even things out. Ellis Milan has it on the receiving end from a great look by Leslie Knight.
That was a great look by Leslie Knight. Patient with the ball, poised when she gets it. She sees the double team coming. No drop on the weak side for Michigan State. Nice little bounce pass to Ellis Milan for the score. That was terrific team basketball.
Keene tried to go behind the back, but Ellis Milan was there to swat it away. Fox will pull up for the jumper and hit. Emmy Fox has 13 points.
Mid-range, mid-range, mid-range. Again, bringing it down in transition, stop and pop.
The answer at the other end comes from Kalisha Keene. And Keene has 4 points.
That was a great little pull-up from Kalisha Keene right there, silencing the crowd. Michigan State has to be able to silence this crowd and stop momentum by making little runs of their own.
Ooh, Fox tries another one, and she is fouled by Taja Wilson. Look at the great passing here by a post player to a post player.
Double team by Michigan State. No drop on the weak side. Great look by Leslie Knight. Nice finish by Ellis Milan. Great team basketball. And Emily Fox again in transition. Stop and pop. Her mid-range game is on today. She's shooting it with a lot of confidence.
Fox's first free throw comes up short. She has been in double figures 19 of 20 games this season. Well, she's already there, so it's now 20 of 21.
Emily Fox, one of those players that's so tough to guard. She's got every facet of the game on the offensive end, and defensively, toughness and intensity, setting the tone for the defense as well.
With 5.5 minutes left to play in the first half, Marnie Gellner and Stephanie White at Williams Arena, where Minnesota has pretty much dominated this game from the opening tip, and it's been catch-up all afternoon for Michigan State. There's a foul called on Minnesota.
Michigan State really having a tough time even getting into an offensive set. They can't even make a pass right now to allow themselves to get in the offense. And you can see right here, Ellis Milan gets that foul because she's trying to push Allyssa DeHaan out of the paint. But they're doing a great job of limiting her touches.
Those are the numbers from a month ago when these teams played at the Breslin Center. DeHaan had 4 field goal attempts. That's it. She was 3 of 4. 6 points. She did get 10 rebounds and 5 blocks. But productive-wise, that was her worst game of the season. It was because of the way Minnesota defended her.
It really was. I mean, Minnesota does a great job of not allowing her to just catch and turn and shoot over the top of them. They force her up the lane, and they limit her touches. And you limit touches by pressuring the basketball on the perimeter.
There's a little too much pressure from Michigan State on Ashley Ellis Milan. And that goes against Allyssa DeHaan.
They got a little battle going down there. They got a little battle going down there. Both players trying to be a little bit more physical. And Coach Merchant talked about Allyssa DeHaan trying to be a little bit more aggressive, trying to be a little bit more physical. Right there, just a little too aggressive.
And she's going to the bench with 2 fouls and 4 points. That inbounds pass was tipped by Michigan State. The push up ahead is Takia Fortner. And Fortner, out of nowhere, just kind of snuck into the game and made a layup.
Fortner's a player who's really quick on the offensive end. She can slash, she can drive it to the rim, she can run in transition. That time does a great job of getting out in the lead and getting that basket, getting the ball in transition and putting it in the basket.
The lead is down to 9 again. Harper. Now baseline, it's turned over. Corinne Campbell couldn't keep the dribble. And Fortner has it again. She'll kick it out to Keene. The lob goes inside to H. Turnaround is no good. H cleans it up. It has an offensive rebound and a basket. An important possession for MSU.
Michigan State making a nice little run, getting an easy bucket in transition. Right there, getting another steal, creating offense from their defense. Michigan State has to continue to do exactly what they're doing right there. Give yourself easy opportunities, make runs, quiet the crowd, get a little momentum going.
Keene knocked it away. It is a 10-1 Michigan State run. The Spartans have pulled back within 5 points. That is an impressive rally on the road under tough circumstances for a young team.
See Coach Borton really getting on Corinne Campbell right there. Made the turnover, then jogged down the floor in transition defense. I don't think she was very happy with that. But, you know, Michigan State continuing to create offense off of their defense, and that's what happens. When you can't hit shots, you've got to be able to get easy layups just like that. A couple of steals, a couple of layups, you're right back in this ball game. You get a little bit of momentum leads this team in steals, does a great job on the defensive end getting her hand on the ball.
Michigan State, we mentioned, is coming off a big win on the road Thursday at Illinois. DeHaan made a game-winning shot with 9 seconds left, so I don't think this team is intimidated going into anyone else's building.
No, I don't think they are, and that's, you know, a lot of their youth, you could see that if they were going to be intimidated, you would see it right off the bat. But I think the biggest thing and the biggest growing experience for them is to be able to answer runs. Minnesota's playing at home. They have the crowd behind them. They made huge runs, and Michigan State responding right now, get a little bit of confidence going. That's what they have to do to be able to stay in this ball game. Back to the screen and roll.
Emmy Fox has 14 points to lead Minnesota. Better job defending that time from Michigan State. But Katie Ohm has an answer from the wing. It's another three-pointer, the second in this game for Ohm.
And you ask, why is Minnesota so good? That's exactly it. You stop Emily Fox coming off of the on-ball screen right there, but what happens? It opens up another aspect of their game. Katie Ohm able to knock down the three.
Fortner puts up her second shot of the game, and Emmy Fox nearly picked up foul number 3, but it is called defensively on Fortner. So the foul goes to Fortner, and Minnesota keeps up that gritty play. Look at Emmy Fox, the collision, but she escapes without the foul.
They say a man should always dress for the job he wants.
Minnesota continues to lead 32-24 over Michigan State. And one of the players that we talked about in the beginning of this broadcast was Leslie Knight, coming off a career-high 33 points. She's just 1 of 3 in this game. She has 3 points, inbounding right there. But what she hasn't done, Ashley Ellis-Milan has done. Ellis-Milan is 4 of 6. She and Fox have combined for 22 points. So they've been the 1-2 punch. It hasn't been Knight, but there's always someone there to pick it up.
There really is. There's always somebody on this team that's going to step up. It's balance. It's a true sense of the word team. Somebody has a rough game, somebody goes down with foul trouble, everybody else steps up, and they do it together as a unit. And that's the great thing to have. You know, I asked Coach Fortin, if you had one word to describe your team, what would it be? And she said balance, and we see it every day with this team.
Emily Fox hits another free throw, and Ashley Ellis-Milan checks out. Zoe Harper is back in, so Harper will have the job of defending Alyssa DeHaan. Kay Silva is also in for Minnesota.
It's a great move right there by Coach Fortin. Get Emily Fox out. 3 minutes to go in the half. Don't allow her to pick up that 3rd foul.
And hope your team keeps a 10-point lead.
Absolutely.
Fortner is not shy at all, drives right to the basket, misses.
Great hustle.
McCoy grabs the rebound, chases it down. It's cross court to Ohm, who has a couple of 3-pointers in this game. It makes a tough pass there. Did Michigan State touch that one? The referees say no. The fans say yes.
Katie Ohm tried to get that one back. She looked to reverse the ball. Didn't see Fortner cutting into the passing lane. Really wish she would have had that one back.
And that is just a simple pass. That's a very simple, fundamental thing, reversing the basketball. Michigan State sometimes can make it tough.
It really is, and it's the hardest pass in the game because it's long from the wing to the top of the key. It's a long pass. If you have quick defenders, they can get in that passing lane.
Keene is hounded by Knight. And now the pass goes, or excuse me, that was H hounded by Knight, and then the pass ends up going out of bounds anyway. So Minnesota recovers after the turnover with a nice defensive possession. But turnovers in this game have been a huge issue for Minnesota. 13 of them. The Gophers had a total of 10 on Thursday against Ohio State.
13 turnovers, 9 offensive rebounds for Michigan State. They're giving them extra possessions. Michigan State's just not converting them.
7 points off of those turnovers. Emily Fox, by the way, uncharacteristically has 3, and she's headed back in.
She is headed back in. Coach Borton's not happy with what's going on the floor right now. Wants to get her back in the game. They try to make a little run, try to get a little bit more momentum, really try to extend this lead before going into halftime.
And the Gophers would like to see her go into that halftime locker room with only those 2 fouls. Try to give and go tonight. It gets tapped back to Leslie. Rolls off the rim. Harper tried to get the rebound. She got a hand on it. The ball will go to Michigan State. The foul is on Zoe Harper over the back. A little too aggressive. And actually, that's a costly foul now because Michigan State heads to the free throw line.
You can see right there, a little bit off the mark by Leslie Knight. What Allyssa DeHaan does, she alters her shot. If she's not going to block it, she's going to alter it. She's a big presence down there, does a great job defensively, making sure she doesn't get in foul trouble by trying to block every shot. But Zoe Harper over the back.
Brittany Thomas averages 7 points per game. She misses that first free throw. Katie Ohm had a tough time grabbing that rebound when the ball fell right in front of her.
And that's a big key miss right there for Michigan State. You want to try to get the lead in single digits before you go into halftime. Right there, an easy opportunity to do that. Can't convert.
No foul call. The referees let them play on. Knight got in a physical battle underneath, but the referees call it cleanly, or say it was clean. Fox tried to grab it before it went out of bounds.
I know the fans here at Minnesota don't like the physical nature of this game, but that's what they specialize in. That's what they do. The way that they're calling this game really, I think, is to the advantage of the Minnesota Gophers.
Well, they only like it when it's on their end of the call, as it may. They don't like it on the other end.
But, you know, that's the great thing about this Minnesota team is they really are physical. They really are tough. They play hard-nosed, and they, frankly, really get it done on both ends of the floor.
This crowd is not satisfied with a 10-point lead either, with 2 minutes to play before halftime. Long shot off the front of the rim from Keene. Minnesota grabs a defensive rebound, now out-rebounding MSU 23-16 now. Ohm misses the three, loose ball, goes to H.
Big possession right here for Michigan State. You want to get the lead in the single digits. There's a minute and a half left going into halftime. You want to make a little run, try to minimize the lead right now and get a little momentum going into halftime.
We've been stuck at this 10-point margin, too. Each team has had a chance to do something, but has yet to convert. And there's another miss from Michigan State. Ooh, Amy Fox got to be careful with 2 fouls. Fortner misses. DeHaan has the rebound. The foul comes. It's against Minnesota. Looks like Katie O.
Yep.
It is. The foul is called on Ohm, her first personal foul, and it will send DeHaan to the free throw line. DeHaan is 1 of 5 in this game. She misses the first. It's 30 minutes of highlights, analysis, and features dedicated to the world of Big Ten women's athletics. The Big Ten Women's Show, Monday at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, only on the Big Ten Network. The second one rims out for DeHaan. So there's another missed opportunity, 2 of them to be exact.
2 opportunities at the free throw line. 1 a 1 and 1, and a 2-shot foul. That's 4 points. You're cutting the lead from 10 points to 6 points if you knock those free throws down.
There's no question Minnesota has given the Spartans plenty of opportunities. How frustrating is that if you're a coach watching these fall in your lap, you just can't catch them?
That's extremely frustrating, especially because Michigan State's getting easy looks at the basket. They're getting shots from 1 and 2 feet right next to the rim on the block. They've got to be able to convert those.
Zoe Harper does convert. She hits her first.
See Coach Merchant right there, a little bit frustrated, trying to get something going on the offensive end. But you know, for all the offensive goals that they had, they're still in a manageable area, a manageable region as far as points-wise to make a run.
There's the positive for Michigan State, no question. Thomas is directing traffic. Kane will take the shot, it rims out. Little Case Silva gets up and gets in there for the rebound.
Great rebound, great job of pulling the ball back. Make sure you get a key offensive possession, get a good shot. Could be your last possession before going into halftime.
Minnesota will try to continue on a 7-0 run, where Michigan State has missed free throws and all kinds of opportunities.
You know, one of the things that I love about Minnesota on the offensive end and on the defensive end as well is their attention to detail. If they're going to set it up and they're going to run a play, they're going to run it. Everybody's going to be in the right spots. Everybody's going to set the screens. They really pay attention to detail on both ends of the floor.
Leslie Knight is at the free throw line with only 3 points. That's a low-scoring game for her, especially in Big Ten games. Over the season, her average is 12. That's all games, 12 points per game. In the Big Ten, 18.5. And actually, her average went up 2 whole points because of the 33-point game on Thursday.
Yeah, Leslie Knight has really, once conference season started, offensively done it all for the Minnesota Gophers. I mean, she steps out, she shoots the three. She's good on the block. She can take you off the dribble and knocking down her free throws.
And you know what? She's content to have 5 points right now because her team has a 14-point lead. Michigan State has not scored since the 4:16 mark of this half.
And they've had plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, that's a long drought because they haven't all been tough shots. They've been free ones with nobody moving at the free throw line. Superfans program is introducing even more options to earn points. Tune into live Big Ten Network games and listen up for the in-game trivia question. Answer the question correctly online to earn 1,000 points. Go to www.big10network.com and follow the Superfans link. The question today is, the Lady Gopher fans ranked where in national attendance during both the 04-05 season and the 06-07 seasons? That would be last year and 3 seasons ago. Where did Minnesota fans rank in national attendance? We know where that guy ranks with Ashley Ellis-Milan. Number 1. Full court pressure here with 42 seconds to play for Michigan State, who hasn't scored since well past the 4-minute mark, trying to end that drought before halftime.
Big possession right here for Michigan State. They want to get a score, an opportunity to go in.
Knocked away from behind. Brittany McCoy knocked it out on a great defensive possession by Minnesota. They'll slow it down right now. Minnesota's last 6 points have come at the free throw line. So the Gophers haven't hit a field goal. Ooh. Silva inside, and she tried to get it to Ohm. It's off her fingertips, so now Maya Johnson brings it up. 5 on the game clock. They'll swing it around. The final shot will go up from Kalisha Keene. Actually, Lauren H. finally got him. Keene drove into the lane, and H. misses just before the buzzer, so it's 38-24 at halftime. You think the coaches will talk about missed opportunities here?
I think they're absolutely going to talk about missed opportunities. Both teams, you can see Michigan State, I know, outscored it to end the half, but also you get the last possession of the game. If you're Minnesota, you don't execute, you turn the ball over, give Michigan State an opportunity to score. Coach Borton's not going to be happy about that either.
Minnesota made 6 free throws, but neither team scored a field goal in the last 4 minutes. Coming up at the half, we'll feature Emily Fox in her hands, also preview Women's Hoop Sunday. Rounding out your Big Ten standings. Coming up, we'll have the highlights and analysis from this game between the Gophers and the Spartans from the first half. It's coming up after this on the Big Ten Network.
We have racing and flight simulators, even golf simulators. So where's virtual reality going next?
Great question. The answer? It's this guy. At the University of Minnesota, our simulation clinic allows students to learn dentistry skills on lifelike mannequins that monitor performance and improve dexterity.
It's just like working on a real patient. Nice teeth.
And this is just the beginning. Working on holograms is next. So the search continues.
Learn more at umn.edu.
College basketball on the Big Ten Network.
These guys are unbelievable.
The quest to be the best continues as the excitement of the Big Ten season rolls on.
What a great effort by that young man.
Witness the rim rattling, shot swatting, high-flying action as conference foes battle it out in crucial showdowns.
With an exclamation point.
Big Ten men's college hoops, tonight in high def on the Big Ten Network.
Before the ball goes up, make sure you watch the Big Ten Tip-Off Show. It's a full half-hour build-up to the biggest games of the day.
That one brings the house down.
Our experts examine the matchups.
He's unstoppable. They have no one to match him.
Give you keys to victory.
Be a lot more aggressive and get after folks.
And break down the entire conference picture.
Defense wins you championships.
The Big Ten Tip-Off Show, Wednesdays and Saturdays, only on the Big Ten Network.
Every game, every score, every highlight. It's the FSN Final Score. 30 minutes every night of the week, bringing you all the action from the world of sports. It's the one show where serious sports fans go for serious sports highlights. The FSN Final Score, presented by DirecTV.
We have played one entertaining half of basketball in Minnesota. 38-24 at the barn. The Golden Gophers lead the Michigan State Spartans. I'm Marnie Gellner, back with Stephanie White courtside. We saw so many bizarre stats. We saw long droughts for each team, and we saw opportunities that neither team could really capitalize on in that first half.
We really did. It seems like neither team really wants to take this game and win this basketball game. A lot of different runs, a lot of different droughts.
Minnesota has led, though, from start up until this point. The biggest lead for Minnesota was 15 points.
Transition offense, I think, for Minnesota, controlling the tempo, really pushing the ball on the offensive end. Right there, Emily Fox, great look to actually Allyssa Mylan in transition. We're going to see again, Emily Fox is going to take the ball in transition off of the steal, pull-up jumper. Minnesota's doing a great job of controlling the tempo of this basketball game, and that makes them very dangerous to stop. But Michigan State made a little run, creating some offense off of their defense. They've got to continue to do that if they want to get back in this ball game. Had an opportunity to cut it to single digits, but too much Emily Fox on the offensive end. And she's doing a great job of coming off the on-ball screen, utilizing it on the wing, mid-range jumper, and we're going to see the same thing twice. It was so nice, she did it again.
That's a tough one, too. Left-handed dribble, right-handed shot. Emmy Fox has 16 points for Minnesota at the break. We'll tip off the second half after this. Athletic Director Joel Maturi must like what he sees right now. His Golden Gophers are up 14. The biggest lead of the game for Minnesota has been 15 this afternoon. The possession goes to Minnesota to start off the second half. The Golden Gophers have led all game long, and Katie Ohm has her third three-pointer.
The same play they started the game with. This time Emily Fox didn't get the shot, but Katie Ohm, after she sets the screen, steps back from the three and knocks it down.
Both teams ended the first half on a scoring drought. Michigan State had gone 4 minutes plus without a field goal, but Lauren H. comes out quickly, so maybe we'll see better shooting from these teams in the second half. Field goal percentage for Michigan State was 23 in the first half, 48 for Minnesota.
I think you're going to see Michigan State try to attack the rim a little bit more, try to attack off the bounce, maybe create some penetration and kick opportunities to get easier shots.
Nice move from Allyssa Mylan, but she can't finish on the glass. And here we'll see Maya Johnson, the Minneapolis native, a graduate of Minneapolis North High School. DeHaan wants Thomas to take the screen. Thomas gives her the ball instead. It's not exactly DeHaan's comfort position out on top of the three-point line.
No, it's not. Top of the key. I don't think she really wanted the ball up there.
Johnson had to throw up a wild shot, but she ended up getting her own rebound. And the Spartans got a fresh 30.
See Mandy Piowski out there starting the second half, maybe trying to get another three-point shooter on the floor.
Stolen away. Fox pushes it ahead. She's got Johnson, one person to beat, and almost does. She walked. Try to get that jump stop, and the Nikes didn't quite stop when Emmy did.
No, they didn't. I think she was trying to get up there. I don't know if she would have just taken that in for the layup. Maybe she heard Maya Johnson coming down right there running beside her, but just a little shuffle right there.
She's got quick hands. The feet, they aren't quite there yet. 4 turnovers for Emily Fox. She still has had a solid game, though. She's been very impressive in the first half.
She really
has. At the other end, well, that's even. Maya Johnson is called for travel.
You know, we saw quite a few turnovers in the first half as well. 14 for Minnesota, 9 for Michigan State. And right now, the second half, both teams, I'm sure, wanting to come out and really make statements at the beginning of the game. First 5 minutes, coaches always talk about first 5 minutes, and we've seen turnover after turnover again already.
It was a tough last 5 minutes for each of these teams. Knocked out of bounds as Brittany McCoy tried to pound it inside. Minnesota will have it underneath the basket. It's built a 15-point lead here to start the second half. And there's a quick foul.
Great recognition right there. Katie Ohm has the mismatch with Piowski guarding her. Michigan State switched to man-to-man on the out-of-bounds play. Steps right in. Emily Fox gives her the ball. She knows the mismatch. Great recognition.
Ohm is 5'11". Piowski's listed at 5'9".
Nice double screen on the backside.
Ohm from the same spot she hit before. That rims out.
Well, that shot doesn't go in, but that's great offensive execution.
Baseline three for Michigan State. That one is good. And it's Mandy Piowski, who doesn't see a whole lot of playing time, but probably came in just because the situation dictated. And Susie Merchant went to her bench. Piowski gets the start in the second half and gets a three as well.
Absolutely, her second three of the game. And every field goal she's taken in conference play has been a three-point shot, so we know she can shoot that.
Ellis Milan gets knocked a bit. And Ellis Milan will have a couple of free throw shots, but look at Piowski, who averages 2 points per game, putting this shot in.
Yeah, great recognition by Brittany Thomas getting her the ball in the corner. She just steps up and shoots that with confidence, really trying to keep Michigan State in this basketball game.
Michigan State has 10 points off of its bench. Piowski has 6 of those. And Ellis Milan has 1 more for herself. She hits the first free throw. 9 points for Ashley in this game. Second one rims out. DeHaan has another board.
Michigan State trying to push a little bit on the offensive in the second half.
Thomas was a little out of control. Fox has it, rips it away from Thomas. Emmy's looking for options. Ohm will try another three. Katie Ohm hits the three-pointer, her second of the second half.
Wow, 4 threes so far for Katie Ohm. She's just stepping back there. Great job of Emily Fox to find the open player. Katie Ohm knocking it down.
We talked about balance all game, and now Katie Ohm has picked up some slack. She's become the go-to player, and it's her second three of the half. Are heating up from three. Katie Ohm has 4 of those three-pointers. She has 12 points in this game, 4 of 8 in her field goal attempts. All 8 shots have been from 3.
Katie Ohm's done a great job. Again, we talked about at the beginning of the game, she extends the defense. That's why she's out there on the floor and she knocks those shots down.
Michigan State has been in a similar position to this in the first half when Minnesota started to run away with things very early on. But the Spartans came back. They had an answer. They forced some turnovers. They got back into the game. Well, this is a bigger deficit and a bigger challenge, but we'll see if the Spartans are up to it. It would start on defense here.
It really would, creating some offense from your defense, allowing yourself some opportunities to get easy shots and get your confidence going. But Minnesota's doing a great job of coming out and really trying to put Michigan State away from the beginning.
And there is a turnover from Minnesota. Substitution for Michigan State. Courtney Davidson is back in. There's Katie Ohm and her overall field goal percentage, or three-point percentage, but look at in-conference games. She leads the Big Ten, hitting 52%. 52% in Big Ten games.
And it's great, and what you can see, Minnesota as a team have really stepped up their play once it comes time for conference season. We talked about last year, second youngest team in the nation on the floor. Oh, great move. Gotta be able to finish that. You know, second youngest team on the floor in the nation last year, really learned a lot playing together, and from the beginning of the year to conference season, they continue to get better.
Knight to Ellis Milan. We've seen that combination one other time, and it worked again tonight, or this afternoon.
It did. Leslie Knight's going to draw the defense. A great pass, post-to-post pass to Ellis Milan.
Ashley Ellis Milan has been the answer for Minnesota in the post all game.
So Alzheimer's has really affected my family, and I want to know.
Leads Michigan State 47-29 on Alumni weekend here at Williams Arena. Carol Ann Shudlick, who is now Carol Ann Shudlick Smith, hangs from the rafters. She's one of 4 players just enshrined at Williams Arena, and we're happy to have her with us here this afternoon. The 1994 Wade Trophy winner, along with Graham, who turned 3 yesterday. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Tell us where you've been and what you've been doing.
Well, I finished up playing. I played a little bit overseas after college and played in the ABL and a couple of WNBA tryouts. But since then, I've been living in Ohio. I got my master's there, got married, and just have been having a good time, and it's great to be back home, and this weekend has been fantastic. I mean, it's been just wonderful to see all of the alums from, you know, the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Just fantastic.
Right, such a great turnout. Everybody was talking about, you know, normally Alumni weekend, 20 to 30 people show up. This year, there's been tremendous turnout. What do you think? What do you think everybody's back for? Why do you think this year specifically?
Well, they really made a push. I mean, Coach Borton really made it a priority, and Michael Fisher, who is on the staff, I mean, he's got to take 100% credit for locating all these alums. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. He worked, I mean, crazy hours. You get emails from him at 3 in the morning trying to locate people. So I think it was due to the coaching staff really to get everyone here.
Everyone was paraded out at halftime, and from baseline to baseline, I think you guys made 3 lines of people. It was an impressive showing.
It was amazing, and you know the best thing is talking to all of the alums, you know, that played before, that got us here today, that didn't have the opportunities for scholarships and playing that we have and the women do today. So that's been the biggest reward, I think, of the whole weekend.
Now, when you were here, did you guys play in the barn? I remember when I was playing, we played over in the other gym.
Yep, we played here for my first 3 years. So the last year before they moved back because of the fan support, was 92, 93, and then 93, 94 was the first year in the pavilion, which, you know, we thought was big time.
Right, exactly. and what about the fans? I mean, tremendous showing. The fan support has been great here in Minnesota. What's that like for you to see that?
Oh, it just, I mean, it gives you chills. It's just amazing. I mean, you know, Stephanie playing in front of those crowds. Purdue, you've had that for quite a long time, and so is Minnesota. They built a tradition here of a definite home court advantage by, I mean, just the fans here today, and the average attendance is, you know, fantastic. Fast Break Club has really done a great job promoting the games, and just the players themselves and the coaches.
The Alumni is seeing a pretty impressive show this afternoon as Minnesota has a 17-point lead over Michigan State. And Minnesota's defense has been pretty solid all afternoon. Leslie Knight goes for the steal. There's a collision and a foul on the court. Caroline, how much do some of the older players chat with some of the more recent players just about the way the game has changed? You didn't see this physical play in women's basketball 20 years ago.
You know, I guess this weekend we haven't talked so much more about the play, but more so about maybe funny stories or funny memories. But, you know, I think that's with anything. I mean, you see that even in the men's game where, you know, they say, you know, for years they said, oh, basketball's not a contact sport. But, yeah, you know, you have the real physicalness. And I think, you know, that's just the game evolving for women. I mean,
here's not a contact sport.
Yeah, you know, I mean, my dad always says that too, and he played, you know, in high school and, you know, whatever, the 60s, so.
And that's Leslie Knight, who you know loves playing physical, loves to be in a little physical play, but kind of got her belt rung right there a little bit.
Leslie Knight has 5 points in this game, and she'll take a seat and make sure the room stops spinning before she heads back out on the basketball court. We're talking with Carol Ann Shudlick-Smith, who is Minnesota's Wade Trophy winner. It's Alumni weekend here at Minnesota. They're trying to pack the house. Brought in so many people, and people who have influenced this game, and really are a credit to what Minnesota basketball has become. And Caroline, you are a keynote speaker tonight, or you're hosting a banquet tonight?
Yeah, they have a reception for all of the alumni over at the McNamara Center after the game, and they've asked myself and Kelly Royceland just to kind of get things going, but we've got a lot of other alums speaking as well, which I think is even more important. You know, our stuff's documented. You know, we were here, you know, it's in the media guide.
Right.
But what isn't documented is the women who, you know, played in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and even the early 70s, and beginning into the early 80s before the Big Ten and NCAA recognized women's basketball.
Absolutely, and it's great for these young players to see that too, because so many of the young players really don't understand the tradition, don't understand the players that laid the foundation for where basketball is today. We see so many more athletes, so many more young girls playing the game, and really a transition in the way the game is played, and for such a tremendous turnout like you guys have had this weekend. It's been great. It's been amazing.
No, it's just incredible to be here, and you know, to reunite with some of our old teammates, and I mean, it's just, I mean, you know, it's just lots of laughs and just lots of stories back and forth.
Absolutely.
Takia Fortner is at the free throw line, or was at the free throw line. It's still a 17-point lead for Minnesota. Caroline, when's the last time you were back here? When did you last see a game at the barn?
Well, I was back here. They had a 10-year reunion for our 1994 NCAA tournament team, so 2004, and then I think before that it was for the jersey retirement, because I've been away for on and off for about 10 years, but I get back quite a bit. My family's still here, so if I'm in town and there's a game, I try to catch it. And we've been living in East Lansing, so actually we saw Michigan State at the game at Michigan State when the Gophers played and beat them on the home court at Michigan State. So that was it's kind of fun to see. Their post play here has just it's fun to see some of the neat post play. I didn't see so much of that. They had some great individual post moves, but some of the post passing and up high low today has been pretty incredible from the Gophers.
Really Speaking of close player, Ashley Ellis-Milan just picked up her 4th foul, so she will take a seat.
Again, 4th foul. We saw Emily Fox go to the bench with foul trouble early in the game, and now Ashley Ellis-Milan, who's done a tremendous job on the offensive and defensive end.
So having seen one half of basketball, Katie O misses the 3. Caroline, who impresses you on this team?
I mean,
who doesn't impress you on this team?
I think that's more of a question. I mean, right there. I mean, what more can
Emily
you say?
Fox, sure.
I mean, she's fantastic, and I mean, she's a story in herself with the stacking and that whole story. But she's amazing, and really the post play. I've been really impressed with specifically this game, and of course that's kind of what I look for, just being a post myself. So it's been just to see their growth even in the last month, since the last time I really saw them play was at the end of December at Michigan State. So
great mid-range again from Emily Fox there, taking it off the dribble. That's kind of been her forte today.
Oh, what was that? The inbound pants. Did that go off at the back? That's Katie Ohm.
Great recognition by Maya Johnson. Katie Ohm had her back turned. She couldn't find anybody to get the ball to, just threw it off her back, finished with the layup. Great recognition, and I'll bet Katie Ohm doesn't do that again for her whole career.
I'll bet she hears about it after the game as well. McCoy stops. She's blocked by Allyssa DeHaan. We haven't seen too many of those here this afternoon. DeHaan is one of the best blockers in the nation. She's also one of the best rebounders. The offensive board can't go, and there's a scramble underneath. Let's take a look at this play, this inbounds play. Carol Ann, did you ever try this when you were playing here? You wanted
That's pretty
to.
heads up, we wanted to. But, I noticed that DeHaan only has 4 points, and at Michigan State, I think the Gophers held her to 5 points. So they've got her number, and she can't score. The defense, you got to give credit to the team defense of Minnesota.
And look at what they just tried this again off of Katie Ohm's back.
Yeah, and then Susie Murphy said, throw the ball in next time. You're not going to get that very often. When it works, it looks great, but when it doesn't, it's a coach's nightmare.
And Ohm goes to the bench along with Corinne Campbell. She did get a high 5 or a low 5 from Pam Borton, so things might not be too bad there. Courtney Davidson hits from the baseline.
Knocking it down. Michigan State trying to make a run, trying to get back into this ball game.
The Spartans did exactly that in the first half. This second half lead, though, has been a little bit tougher to overcome. Minnesota's biggest was 20 points. It's now at 12. Fox, the rally killer, 18, now 20 points for Emmy Fox.
That's a great job by Emily Fox. She's hurt Michigan State early by dribbling off of that on-ball screen, taking it to the middle. That time she faked using the screen. There was no help side on the baseline. Great recognition by Emily Fox.
The long three-pointer bounces around a few times. Maya Johnson has it. She'll try it at the other end. That one's short, and Fox has the board.
Transition offense again, pushing the ball, trying to control tempo.
End to end, Fox misses the layup. Zoe Harper's tied up for the rebound. Our guest this afternoon was Carol Ann Shudlick-Smith here for the Alumni Weekend. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's just a pleasure being here and a pleasure to be here around all these great alums. So
it's wonderful getting caught up with you. Minnesota holds a 14-point lead, and we'll continue at the barn after this.
Gymnastics.
On Alumni Weekend, we have fans that have been around this game for a long time, and then we have those that are just getting used to it. He's got one around the head, one around the neck, one on the arm, and a sucker to boot. He's having a good day.
He's living the life.
A Golden Gopher fan who any of those would be happy with this 14-point lead right now. It's been as big as 20 for Minnesota. Katie Ohm has 8 points in the second half. She's on the bench right now, but she's had a great afternoon. Just 14 points for Minnesota. Racing down to the other end is Courtney Davidson.
Michigan State really playing Minnesota pretty even so far this second half, but they need to be able to cut into the lead and continue to do just that. Attack the rim defensively, really turn up the intensity, try to create some offense off of the defense. But again, if you can attack the rim, try to get some easy basket or gets to the free throw line and knock them down, they can get back in this ball game.
Davidson misses the first free throw attempt. And Davidson, well, Susie Merchant wants the claw.
She wants the claw. Davidson
averages 23 minutes per game. In that last game, though, at Illinois, she only played a total of 8. She took an ill-advised three-pointer, and her night was pretty short. But this afternoon, Merchant has tried a lot of different combinations, a lot of different players.
She really has.
So anyone's in the mix.
Yeah, really trying to get into a flow, trying to find a combination that can mesh well together.
Zoe Harper shows a little bit of range. That's not the typical spot for Zoe. And there's a turnover. Nice defense and a quick turnaround for Minnesota.
Nice little jump shot, showing a little, 15-foot range. Zoe Harper, great touch. See right here, free throw line jumper. Knocking it down. Saw the post players working on that today in shoot around. She knocks it down.
Katie Ohm is back into the game for Minnesota. Fox will inbounds. She gets it to Knight.
ISO.
Knight's going to work. Left-handed dribble, takes a step, and boy, did she meet Allyssa DeHaan. And they call a foul. It looked like she had all leather.
Wow.
It looked like she got it with her wrist even. She didn't even need her hand.
Out of bounds play, little ISO for Leslie Knight. Nice little step through Allyssa DeHaan. Ooh, I'm not really sure where that was.
It almost looked like the block was clean. It was kind of the pushing it back down that maybe the referees or the officials thought got a little too physical. DeHaan, though, has really struggled. She's 1 of 7 from the floor. She has 4 points, 5 rebounds, and now just 1 block. That's her first block. Well, that was a foul. She has one block in this game.
No, it's tough for Allyssa
91 this season.
It's tough for her to play against a team that's more physical than she is. They have a lower center of gravity. They can move her up the lane, move her out of the lane, but it's also physically exhausting to go against that every single play down the floor.
Minnesota held DeHaan to 6 points on 3 of 4 shooting earlier this season. There's another miss by Michigan State. McCoy will come the other way, and DeHaan is sitting at 4 points in this game.
And another missed layup. Easy opportunities that Michigan State's not converting.
Well, if you count up the missed opportunities for Michigan State, whether it's free throws, layups, turnovers that Minnesota has made, the Gophers have really not done a good job taking care of the basketball with 9 turnovers. Silva is short on the 3.
Really daring Kay Silva to shoot that ball.
Michigan State almost lost it, pushing it ahead. Takia Fortner grabs it. Maya Johnson tries the 3. That rebound hits the floor, and Johnson grabs it.
Got to box out the shooter. Maya Johnson takes a shot. Nobody there to box her out. She gets her offensive rebound.
And now Davidson, excuse me, hits the 3-pointer. Courtney Davidson.
She has no fear. She's going to step up and she's going to shoot it no matter where she is on the floor, no matter what the time on the clock. And you need some of those players to come in and really play like that.
11 points now for Courtney Davidson. Harper is blocked by DeHaan. There's block number 2. Let's look at how this 3-pointer went up from Maya Johnson and where the rebound goes.
Kay Silva out of the play, didn't get back in to box out. Maya Johnson gets her offensive rebound, tosses it back up, and you can see right here a high post screen. She doesn't use it, just steps back. Emily Fox tries to go underneath. She was way out there.
She was a good foot behind that 3-point line.
She sure was.
And 14 points down with 9:47 left to play. You don't need constant 3-pointers. You just need someone to get hot from somewhere if you're Michigan State.
You really do, and you've got to attack the rim. You've got to attack the rim off the dribble. You've got to attack the rim with the pass. But if you create opportunities, when you drive the ball down the lane, if you don't get a layup, it creates help defense, which opens up opportunities for your teammates. When you attack the rim, something good is going to happen.
So it's now back up to a 16-point lead.
And if Michigan State's going to make a run, they've got to start it right now.
We've seen this team threaten a couple times. Davidson has trouble with the dribble and then passes it out of bounds. Courtney Davidson is a senior, one of just 2 on this Michigan State roster The Spartans look to her for leadership. That wasn't the possession they were hoping for.
Yeah, Davidson trying to dribble it down the lane. Fortner tried to cut back door as opposed to staying out at the 3, so a little miscommunication right there.
Michigan State has gotten a lot of scoring off its bench, though. 22 points. Minnesota has just 4 bench points. Leslie Knight traveled, and there's turnover number 20 for the Gophers.
We've seen a lot of turnovers on both ends of the floor. Michigan State turning the ball over, Minnesota turning the ball over, but neither team really capitalizing on those turnovers.
20 turnovers, but 10 points for Michigan State off those turnovers. And we mentioned before, Minnesota had a total of 10 turnovers against Ohio State on Thursday. Mandy Piowski hits a 3-pointer. So Michigan State has had a couple of those in the last couple of minutes.
They have, and Piowski's done what she's been called to do right here, stepping up, knocking down those 3-point shots. She's got 3 of them.
Fox will try to answer on the other side. He does. Emmy Fox hits and has 23 points. And even though the margin isn't that close, that's a big answer.
It's a huge answer, and Piowski does a great job of knocking down the 3, but then she unfortunately has to chase Emily Fox around all those screens, and Emily Fox does such a great job of using the screens, stepping up and knocking down the shot.
It's not always scoring, it's how she scores.
Absolutely, it
she
definitely
tests the
is.
defense.
She does. She reads the defense. She takes what the defense gives her. She doesn't really press anything. She can beat you in so many ways. Here's
Piowski's 3.
Knocks it down, and then Fox coming off the double screen. Great job of reading. And, you know, Emily Fox has that feel. She knows if somebody's trailing her behind the 3 or if she's going to be open. And you can see right there, she knew that she had a little bit of time, and she stepped up, caught it, and knocked it down.
And you know what always impresses me is when a right-handed player, or, you know, whichever hand you are, but you can come off that left screen or the left dribble, as we saw her do, and make that switch and be so balanced.
And so fluid. It's a hard thing to do, and it's something that she's, I'm sure, had to work on tirelessly and effortlessly right now for her because she's worked on it so long.
How about that? Katie Ohm is still finding that range from 3. She has 17 points, which ties a career high.
Katie Ohm, another one of those players, you know, she's got an opportunity, she steps up and she knocks it down.
Keene misses. DeHaan has the offensive rebound. Allyssa DeHaan has been quiet offensively, but now has 6 points.
We continue to see the balance of this Minnesota offense. A lot of players that can hurt you in so many different ways.
And on different nights, you don't know who it's going to be.
You don't, and you can't count on that. You know, you might set up your defense to guard Leslie Knight and Emily Fox, and then Katie Ohm steps up, and Ashley Ellis-Milan steps up. You know, you just really keep defenses off balance when you have that great offensive balance.
Behind the back dribble, Keene almost lost it. Ended up with it and ended up with a hoop as well. Kalisha Keene has 8 points. And this, you know, this Williams Arena crowd is great, especially when it's packed like this, a little bit fuller than normal. They're just, their team is dominating and they're yelling at every call. They don't get what they want from the officials, but that really helps a game like this stay a little more intense.
It really does, and you know, you can just see their loyalty and enthusiasm for this Minnesota basketball team. It's wonderful to see.
Brittany Thomas inside to DeHaan, who scored on the last possession for Michigan State. Thomas, though, takes it in, and she shoots and scores. So it's not DeHaan who got the ball scoring in the paint. It ends up being Brittany Thomas.
It is, but you have to be so aware of Allyssa DeHaan that it opens up opportunities for her teammates, and Brittany Thomas needs to do more of that attacking the rim.
Tough shot off balance for Ohm. It's an 11-point game, though. Michigan State, boy, another opportunity for Michigan State, and then it's thrown out of bounds. Turnovers have been costly for each team here this afternoon, but the Spartans are within 11.
Been that kind of day.
This team just gets so close to making this game a little more interesting than Pam Borton would like, but can't get over that hump, can't get that run, can't get it started, but can't finish.
And that's part of being a young team. You know, when things go bad, you've got to pull together. You can't separate into each little individual corner, and a lot of times you see Michigan State do that, and that's where you need leadership. You need somebody to step in, bring everybody together, calm everybody down, get everybody on the same page. And when you see that, that's when you're going to see Michigan State get over the hump.
The Spartans have relied on a lot of long shooting, and there's another three-point shot. It's a make by Kalisha Keene. Michigan State has 5 of 9, or is 5 of 9 in three-pointers just in this half. Minnesota's also made 4 of 7. 3 of those have come from Katie Ohm, so each team starting to shoot that three-pointer a little more.
Yeah, Michigan State doing a much better job, too, of attacking the rim on offense. They're actually outscoring Minnesota thus far that half, but you've got to be able to do it back-to-back.
McCoy charges into the lane, but does not get called for the charge. It's a defensive foul, and McCoy will get a chance to make this a three-point play.
And you can see right here, penetration and kick, great job of attacking the rim, which creates an open opportunity for Kalisha Keene. But what happens? A drive by Brittany McCoy, Minnesota answering every time Michigan State tries to make a run.
And it's still a 10-point game, 5:38 left to play, but considering that this game had been 20 at one point, to get it down to 10 with 5.5 on the road is pretty impressive for a young team.
It really is. This young team has done a much better job on the offensive end of the floor in this second half. But again, you have to be able to do it on back-to-back possessions. In order to make a run right here, you've got to be able to convert, get a stop, and convert again. And you can see Kalisha Keene with her 5th foul right there, a key part of the Spartan offense and defense.
She follows out with 11 points, and that will hurt Michigan State in a comeback attempt. It's been a 6-0 MSU run before Brittany McCoy made that basket. And McCoy adds the free throw for a 3-point play. Brings her total to 4 on the afternoon, and Minnesota's lead up to 11. So if you're Michigan State, these possessions are important. Smart defense, good quality offensive possessions, not what we just saw on a simple thing like a pass,
right?
An entry pass.
You've got to be able to convert, and again, attack the rim, get to the free throw line, or get a layup, or open up an opportunity to shoot a three-point shot like we saw in the last possession. But then you've got to be able to rebound off of a made shot with a defensive stop. You've got to be able to make stops, create offense, and make another stop if you want to get back in the ball game.
Zoe Harper's, along with Ashley Ellis-Mylan, done a fantastic job defending Allyssa DeHaan. And you don't want things to come unraveled if you're Minnesota in the last 5.5. But that was a pretty quick foul. The inbounds went right to DeHaan, and immediately there's a call for a push and a foul on Zoe Harper.
It is, and you see it's definitely a physical game down low. Zoe Harper matches up a little bit better to Allyssa DeHaan height-wise. She's stronger, she's going to push her out, but Allyssa DeHaan has to do exactly what she does right there. She gets the ball and she goes to the rim, and you need to see more of Allyssa DeHaan being aggressive to the rim.
And that was the 4th foul on Zoe Harper. Ellis-Mylan also has 4, so this could be interesting here as we head down the stretch. Down to a 9-point game. MSU had cut it to 8 at one point in the second half.
Great patience here on the offensive end by Minnesota. Nice head fake, nice pass.
And again, Leslie Knight finds another post player. It was Zoe Harper. They still haven't gotten a shot to hit the rim. Ohm will try it off the back rim, and it's kept alive. Fox grabs the rebound. Michigan State is called for the foul.
Great patience, great execution on the offensive end. They didn't get the shot to fall, but when you're patient, you're poised, and you can see this Minnesota team never really gets rattled. They're turning the ball over a little bit, trying to push the ball on the offensive end, but they don't really get rattled. And whenever a team makes a run, we saw it in the Ohio State game on Thursday as well. Team makes a run, they're able to answer because they're poised, because they're confident in each other, and they're confident in themselves, and they play together.
Minnesota has certainly played together and spread things out. They have 3 players right now in double figures, led by Fox with 23, Ohm with 17, and Ellis-Mylan with 12. And you add in 9 points for Leslie Knight, and there's the balance you've been talking about all afternoon. You even said, dare I say, you compared Minnesota to your national championship team at Purdue.
I really did, because, it's a team that doesn't have any superstars. They have a lot of good players who play well together, who play hard together, who play for each other every single day. They hold themselves accountable, they hold each other accountable, and they just get the job done. They don't care who gets the glory, they just want to win.
DeHaan puts in another basket. Zoe Harper is playing with 4 fouls, so she had to be careful on that defensive possession. But you think Michigan State knows exactly how many fouls those post players have?
Absolutely, and they're going to continue to go to Allyssa DeHaan.
She's got 10 points but she was stuck at 4 for a long time.
Yeah, she was, and this is going to allow her to get a little bit of confidence. But again, you get a score, then you get a turnover. Now you've got to come back and you got to make a statement and get another score right here.
Let's see what Michigan State does with this important possession with 4:20 to go.
Huge possession right here for Michigan State.
We've said that a couple times, and the Spartans haven't really been able to capitalize. Davidson drives, the shot goes off the rim. Harper is there for the rebound. So once again, Michigan State had a basket, forced a turnover, could not get another basket.
Can't convert, and you know, if you're Michigan State and you don't convert on those opportunities, Minnesota makes you pay for it.
Fox will wisely use some clock here. She drives off the dribble, short, DeHaan rebound. Allyssa DeHaan has been a factor. She's 2 for 2 in the second half. Great look up ahead. The pass to Lauren H. from Courtney Davidson.
Stop it and convert. You cut into this lead.
It's getting interesting. The fans are a little restless here at Williams Arena.
They really are. Michigan State doing a good job of hanging in there.
It's down to a 7-point game. Minnesota led by as many as 20. Knight will take a long one, and Leslie Knight hits. Showing some range, she's into double figures now with 11 points. That's 4 players for Minnesota in double figures.
And that's the leadership you talk about. You know, offensively, she hasn't scored a lot of points, but she's done so many things, and right there, steps up, poised and confident, and knocks down that shot.
Allyssa DeHaan. She missed that one. She was 2 of 2 before that in the second half. Her first half field goal were 1 of 7. And again, Zoe Harper is playing with 4 fouls. Her sub would be Ashley Ellis-Mylan. She has 4 fouls as well. So Minnesota's just trying to tiptoe with that defense here over the last 2+ minutes. And it is a 9-point game at the Barn. Is still hanging on, but Michigan State has flirted with an upset a couple of times here this afternoon at Williams Arena. And it continues to be interesting, and I would not say that for 2 minutes and 40 seconds this will be uneventful by any means.
Absolutely not. You can see we're coming out of the timeout with 2 free throws right here for Emily Fox. Minnesota in the double bonus, but Michigan State, that's what you need to do. You need to attack the rim, get to the free throw line. You're in the bonus as well. Score some points with no time running off the clock. Again, gaining some confidence by getting some easy shots.
Emily Fox is now 6 of 7 from the free throw line. Leslie Knight is 7 of 8. Emily Fox, well, I just said Emily Fox. Leslie Knight is also 7 of 8. So you've got a couple of players that have been pretty consistent. Now Minnesota is a team 20 of 25, and this is the team that's the worst free throw shooting team in the Big Ten, but these will be significant down the stretch.
She's doing a great job of knocking the free throws down right now, and Emily Fox, 27 points. How big has she been?
3-point shot from the corner. Mandy Piowski again.
Her 4-3. No, Piowski, this is an opportunity for her to come in, gain a little bit more playing time by knocking these shots down. She's done a great job.
She's a sophomore who doesn't play a whole lot, but has 14 points in this game because there was a need. Somebody needed to fire up a few 3-pointers, and Piowski was there. She answered the call.
And she's taken advantage of an opportunity. When you're a player on a team that doesn't get a lot of minutes, that's what you have to do. Be ready when your number's called.
Knight was in the triple team and got called for a travel. Turnover number 23 for Minnesota. 23 turnovers, but if you watch this game, you wouldn't say the Gophers are playing so badly. It's Michigan State's defense that at times has really forced Minnesota into some not so smart plays, I guess we'll say. The drive and a tough shot, tough finish from Maya Johnson, and suddenly we have a 6-point game.
When you're a team like Minnesota who pushes the ball as much as they do, turnovers are going to happen. And, you know, fortunately for Minnesota, Michigan State hasn't really capitalized on those turnovers.
It's a 5-0 run for Michigan State. We're down to 1:22.
And you got to get another stop.
And Minnesota's trying to have a real smart possession here. So far has used a lot of shot clock, which is good for the Gophers. Emmy Fox will get one up before the buzzer. Short, Ashley Ellis-Mylan had the rebound, but it went out of bounds.
And that's a smart defensive play right there by Michigan State. You've got 2 players on the floor, and Brittany McCoy and Kay Silva, who aren't really shooters. So they didn't guard them, but they're guarding everybody else. They're daring Brittany McCoy and Kay Silva to beat them from the perimeter. That's a smart defensive stand, and you've got to be able to continue that, plus get the defensive rebound and then convert on the offensive end.
seen all kinds of opportunities. We'll see what Michigan State does with this one. Big Ten Network has an amazing doubleheader of women's basketball coming up next. It's Michigan traveling to Carver Hawkeye Arena to battle it out with the Hawkeyes. The coverage begins immediately following this game, and then later our hoops coverage will move right along when Northwestern goes to take on the Wisconsin Badgers at the Kohl Center in Madison. Tip there is 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central. A jam-packed day of women's basketball on the Big Ten Network, and we've kicked things off with a great game. Even when it was a 20-point game, I don't think anyone in this building was comfortable, and now it's down to 6.
Definitely, it's been one of those games that, you know, you never really know what's going to happen. Both teams have had inconsistencies and both teams have had runs.
Lauren H. was knocked from behind by Brittany McCoy. What a subtle little move from McCoy and a huge steal just under the 1-minute mark. Emmy Fox breaks the pressure defense pretty easily.
We talk about those intangibles that Brittany McCoy does right there. One of those intangibles. She gets in there, gets a hand on the ball, creates an opportunity for a steal.
A huge steal. And once again, another opportunity for Michigan State. It's right there, but the Spartans just have not been able to follow through, not enough times today. Let's look at this defense by McCoy.
Lauren
She's sneaky.
H., you're a post player. You're putting the ball on the floor. You're not going to get more than 1 or 2 bounces. Brittany McCoy does a great job of getting in there.
Fox hits at the free throw line. And Emmy Fox just upped her total to 29 this afternoon. Her career high is 30, which she had in a loss to Virginia Tech earlier this season. But you look at Ashley Ellis-Milan with 12 points. Leslie Knight has 11 points. And all those 3 are in the game right now for Minnesota. But the key is going to be defense for the Gophers.
It really is. They've got to be able to make sure that they're contesting all the threes, make sure they're good on the block, and no fouls.
And be sure to stay with us. It's the Wolverines and the Hawkeyes coming up next. 2 teams that are just packed right into this very tight Big Ten race. Minnesota is right there at 5-3. And Michigan State's at 4-5. These games, that every time I see those Big Ten standings, I'm just amazed at the crunch.
Every game means something.
Hey,
Take
there
care
they
of
are.
home court, get a steal on the road. Every game means something.
37 seconds left. Michigan State is down by 8. Here's Courtney Davidson.
You know, and this is a possession where, you know, it's already a 2 to 3 possession game. You don't have to settle for an off-balance 3 like that. You attack the rim, get to the free throw line, or get a layup. Create an opportunity. You need a quick score, not necessarily a 3-point shot.
The senior took an ill-advised 3-pointer. She wasn't not really on any kind of balance, just kind of tried to find an opening and put one up as quickly as she could. So a couple of substitutions come in the game for Michigan State. This will be Saul's strategy here. We have an 8-point lead for Minnesota. The full court pressure for Michigan State. McCoy inbounds to Knight, and there is immediately the foul. Leslie Knight will take a trip to the free throw line. She is 7 of 8 so far in this game. And Leslie Knight has been pretty reliable all season long. From the free throw line, she shoots 78%.
And your senior leader right here wants the ball with the game on the line, step up. You know, she's got an opportunity to knock down a couple of free throws and really extend the lead. And again, Michigan State on the offensive end, you need to attack the rim, get a quick score. Quick score and a quick foul.
At halftime, Knight had 5 points. She had a pretty quiet first half. She made 1 field goal, but now she has 12 points. She's going to hit her average for the season. And even when she's not spectacular, like 33 points last game, she's fulfilling a role. She's solid. Look at that, 8 of 9 from the free throw line, 8 of those 12 points.
And she does so many other things. I mean, she's been matched up against Kalisha Keene and Allyssa DeHaan, you know, and other players on this Michigan State team on defense. She's continued to get great rebounds. She's a phenomenal passer in the post play. She just does so many different things for this team.
Davidson splits the defense. Ashley Ellis-Milan has the rebound. Davidson is still in the paint. I think that was more of a frustration break than a painful break that she took right there. Again, the substitutions for Susie Merchant come in. Now we're working with 14.9 seconds. We're back to a 10-point game. Michigan State has it. It's inbounded to Piowski. She's blocked by Fox. The 3-pointer. Fox comes away with it, hits Silva streaking down the court. Kay Silva converts, and that should about do it for Minnesota. That was a beautiful transition hoop. Pam Borton even is allowed to smile here.
Great job again, transition offense, creating opportunities on the offensive end off of your defense. Great run by Silva, great look by Fox.
Home comes back in. Silva heads out after hitting a huge layup. Ashley Ellis-Milan checks out as well with 12 points and 4 fouls. And Minnesota has just won a big game, improving to 6-3 in the Big Ten. 81-69 is our final score. Up next, more Big Ten women's hoops. Michigan will take on Iowa. This has been a presentation of the Big Ten Network. For Stephanie White and our entire Big Ten Network crew, I'm Marnie Gellner saying so long for now. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. We'll then go out to Jim Kelly and Vera Jones at Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa.
Thanks, Marnie. A good one there and a good one coming up here. Coach Vera Jones is alongside. The Michigan Wolverines come in 12-6 overall, 5-3 in the Big Ten. Outstanding back in Ann Arbor, Vera, 8-0, but on the road a rather disappointing 3-5, huh?
Well, this has been a tough league to play on the road. Got several teams that do very, very well at home, but just don't seem to find that kind of confidence when they get out in front of the opposing fans.
And for the black and gold of the Hawkeyes, Coach Lisa Bluter in her 8th year, the Dean of Big Ten ladies coaches. They come in, of course, with a 12-7 overall record and locked in that log jam at 5-3 in the Big Ten Conference. So